Alright, the WarFrame 2022 survey. Hello Tenno. It's been a momentous time for WarFrame with the recent release of the new war. We all know that the past 2 years have been unprecedented, but we truly appreciate your patience and support while we work on our biggest quest yet. As we begin 2022, we want to take a moment to reflect on the previous year and hear from you on what you would like to see this year in WarFrame. Forums remain a valuable place to share ideas and constructive feedback on WarFrame. With new avenues and paths created from this update, we felt a survey was appropriate to gauge general Tenno opinion. Please complete the following survey truthfully, as only honest and fair feedback will benefit the WarFrame community. True. This means there's no need to try and flatter us, nor is this an opportunity to bash the immense amount of work that has gone into the past year. Although if you feel like you don't have enough experience with a particular activity to judge, you always skip that question. Answers are anonymous and will not be linked to your WarFrame account. Well, my answers will not be anonymous because obviously we're doing it on stream, I'm going to be recording it, I'm going to put it on YouTube, so let's go. Okay, let's do this. What is your primary platform? Well, we play on PC. Okay, folks, we play on PC. Well, I play on PC. What is your mastery rank? Unless I've got it wrong, I am mastery rank 28. Yeah, mastery rank 28. Inaris main still fight tooth and nail to say he's a good frame. Yeah, true. What is your preferred playstyle? I think it really depends. If it's Railjack, my preferred playstyle is using friends only, whilst also allowing the public to join in, because I just don't want to use other people's Railjacks. With everything else, I'm more of a public player, not a solo player. That being said, if I'm recording a video, I will go solo, but usually I'll go solo. But 9 times out of 10, I'll just stick to public for just regular shenanigans. How was your overall WarFrame experience in 2021? I think overall I would probably sit in the 4.5 out of 6 category. So not super, with the exception of the new war, not super duper mega awesome. But you know, not bad. They just use Google Forms. I mean, the system works. I mean, it works. It's a really easy way to just collate that information together. So, I'll probably put it on a I'll probably put it on a 5. I'll probably put it on a 5. If you could change one aspect about WarFrame, what would it be? Railjack. Corpus Railjack isn't Railjack. Most of the missions are just Railjack with a hint of Railjack. It's like a cheeseburger with at most a gram of cheese. That's what I mean. Options for intercourse. What the fuck? Yeah, that one aspect of WarFrame that I want changed is Corpus Railjack. Because, like I said, I made an entire video on this. Corpus Railjack just isn't Railjack. When you have a mission type called Railjack, but your Railjack is only used for a grand total of 2 minutes inside a potentially 20-minute Railjack survival mission, it's not Railjack survival, it's just survival, with a hint of Railjack. Warning, your mission may contain traces of Railjack. I mean, that's a bit fucked. That's scuffed to me. So, easily the one aspect that I want changed is Railjack. Okay, I just doxed myself with this fucking thing. Anyway, whatever. How do you feel about power creep in WarFrame? Power creep, of course, is when new gear outshines old gear because it's stronger. So, here's the thing about power creep. Power creep, I think, is inevitable as you produce new things and you want players to use the new things, because it would just seem really foolish to create new things that are unironically weaker than old things. For example, in Genshin Impact, most characters, most support characters, most buffing characters are not as strong as Benjamin. Most support characters, most sub-DPS characters that come out in the game are not as strong and not as useful as Xingqiu and Xiangling. I feel like that's foolish. It just sounds foolish that that happens. But at the same time, as someone who unironically uses the Paris Prime, regardless of it being power crept, I don't care. So, I feel like, how do I feel about power creep? Personally, no impact. But definitely, it is something that, it is a thing that impacts everyone. But while it impacts me, it is an impact that I don't care about. So that's why I'm going to put no impact, okay guys? It's probably like the most roundabout, confusing way to answer that question. The most roundabout, confusing, like totally unnecessary levels of detail for that answer, but there we go. How did you learn to use the mod system? Oh shit. I actually don't remember, because this would be in 2013. How did I learn to use the mod system? I don't think it was in-game tutorials, because in 2013, in-game tutorials didn't even... You know, I feel bad for people learning from YouTube content creators. You mean like me, KSD? How? You mean like me, huh? What do you have? You have a problem with me? You have a problem with me? You have a problem with me? No, I'm kidding. Okay. In 2013, it definitely wasn't in-game tutorials because there weren't any. Content creators, no. I only came across content creators, I think, like 2014. Intuitive, sort of. WarFrame wiki, no. Trial and error, yeah. I think I went with trial and error, guys. I think I went with trial and error in 2013. Do you think the current modding system encourages experimentation? No. 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 Let me explain. With Warframes, yes. But with weapons, 99% of the time, weapons, in my opinion, are pretty much split into 3 different categories. You've got crit heavy weapons, you've got status heavy weapons, and then you have, my favorite, the crit stat hybrids. If you have a crit weapon, if you're a crit heavy weapon, i.e. a weapon whose base critical chance is above 20, let's say 5%, or hell, if your weapon's base critical chance is above 20%, but the base status chance is like below 20%, then you have a crit heavy weapon, right? And so 99% of the time, what are you going to use? First off, you're going to use galvanized, first off, you're going to use split chamber or galvanized chamber, right? Secondly, you're going to use point strike or critical delay, or my favorite, galvanized scope. Obviously different mods for other types of weapons, but anyway, point strike, critical delay, or galvanized scope, right? And then because you're a crit weapon, 99% of the time you're probably going to want to use 2 90% elemental mods. Pick whichever ones you want, okay? Cool. So there's experimentation in terms of the element that you end up using, but not experimentation in the idea that you're still going to be using 2 90% mods, right? And then number 3, and then afterwards, you probably want to put in a fire rate mod. And then finally, well, that should be it. A Riven, and I think that's usually it. I'm missing like 1 or 2 other things. Maybe like Prime Shred. That's it, you know? So I feel like for that's that one. If you're doing a status heavy weapon, if your weapon has like 15% crit chance, for example, and has like 30% status chance, then you've got yourself a status heavy weapon. Okay, wonderful. How are you going to build a status heavy weapon? 3, if not 4 60/60 mods, galvanized aptitude if you have it, potentially hammer strike, something rather, hang on, let me have a look at it. What's it called? Hammer shot, and galvanized or split chamber, and then that's it. So, and then if you do a crit stat hybrid, it's basically 2 or 3 or hell even 4 60/60s, galvanized scope, vital sense, or critical delay and point strike, or point strike, a fire rate mod, boom, done. So I feel like right now the modding system, like, my point is, there's a lot of what's the word we're looking for? Mandatory mods. In particular, split chamber or galvanized chamber. If you have galvanized chamber, that's pretty much a mandatory mod. If you have split chamber, well then that's your mandatory mod. With the possible exception of bows, where sometimes if you want to use split flights instead of split chamber, cool, go for it. But that shit is just straight up, you know, like that shit's just straight up like mandatory stuff. So it's not a 1 in the sense that there's no experimentation. There is still some experimentation, but it's still very limited, very, very limited. I learned by mistakes over time, and then I watched one video being mine, and that helped me start building myself up. Hey, my man. Should utility mods play a bigger role in modding? Yes. This is probably going to be a very controversial statement, but I think utility mods should play a much bigger role in modding. I think right now, when 99% of the mods that you use are going to be damage mods, if we could somehow, if DE like finds a way to make a lot of the damage mods that are basically mandatory mods somehow, you know, become things outside. Like, for example, arcanes, weapon arcanes being like a pretty cool way of making serration not necessarily a mandatory mod anymore. Like, you can still put it in if A, you don't have the weapon arcane, or B, you're using a weapon like I think I use serration on if your weapon has like innately low damage to begin with, and so it's going to be a bit trickier for you to actually build if you're using a weapon that has low damage, like let's say Scourge Prime, and you're worried that, and rightly so, honestly, that it's going to take a while for you to ramp up your Scourge Prime in Steel Path missions, with the possible exception of against armor, obviously, then putting Serration on it is still probably a good idea, you know? Because then at least you'll still always be doing more damage if you put a Serration on your build. But you don't have to anymore, because the Weapon Arcane pretty much deals with it, deals with that 99% of the time. And then if you need that extra bit of damage in order to just start up, yeah, you can always put Serration on it. So if D can continue doing more things that make it so that we don't necessarily need to use Point Strike, Vital Sense, and all that jazz, and then free up space for us to have more utility mods, I think that would be great. And then, of course, better utility mods, because 95% of the utility mods, 95% of the Excellence mods, honestly, not that useful. I don't find them all that useful. I just use them only if they happen to be the right polarity. Otherwise, with the possible exception of Visage Bal, I don't really, actively look to try and polarize my weapon's Excellence slot just to fit in a specific mod. Oh, with the also possible exclusion of with the also possible exception of the explosive mod that prevents you from yeeting yourself. Cautious shot, and vigilante supplies. Aside from those two, yeah, the rest of them are not really things that you actively go for, in my opinion. How do you feel about the current enemy density in missions? It's too low. it's just simply too low. Needs more. I want to get flooded. Phrasing aside, I want to get flooded, and not just in Warframe. Mihoyo, can you give us more enemy density, please? Like, onegaishimasu. Like, I don't care if the mobile players start crying because their phones explode. Fuck them. They're playing on mobile. Fuck them. I think enemy density is always a higher enemy density without it turning into like fucking, without it turning into friggin' Dynasty Warriors, is, I think, a good idea. How important are these for a good boss fight? Okay, here we go. Multiple boss stages. Because this is a, spiral depression, I have no issue with multiple boss stages. Who has multiple boss stages? Lephantis? Actually, that's it. Lephantis, technically Jordis. Til Regor. It's a handful. I suppose technically Captain Vor does as well. But because we're not playing Spiral Depression, multiple boss stages, not a problem for me. Not a problem for me. Telegraph Attacks. What do I think of Dynasty Warriors Empires 9? I don't. I've never played it. I don't know anything about it, so I don't think of it. Telegraph Attacks. I wouldn't say they're essential. I think if you play against the boss enough, you can kind of remember how it works. But, you know, it's a thing that happens with a lot of bosses these days, so... a lot of bosses in other games these days, so I don't see why it shouldn't be a thing in Warframe. But it's not something that I honestly care about. I'm going to put it on a 4. Parkour integration. I would like to see more of it. That should make it a lot more interesting, but it's not essential. But I would definitely like to see a lot more about it. Environmental hazards. Yeah, ditto with that and parkour integration. I would probably say it's not essential, but I would like to see it. I would like to see it a lot more. How important are clans in your daily Warframe life? Not really that important. Like, yeah, look, House Yami is awesome, and it's fantastic that I was able to set it up in such a way that, like, my dojo is a fully functioning dojo for me, but I barely visit it, and I think that is a decent indicator of how important clans are in my daily Warframe life, which is not terribly important, but definitely important enough that they continue to exist, but not important enough for me to, you know, show up every single day. With the possible exception of trading, because my trading post is in the dojo. Like, aside from that, not really. What would make social hubs and dojos more interesting? Ship functions, mini games, player housing, NPC events, improved performance. Well, player housing already exists. I'm not too worried about that. If by player housing they mean the idea of your Warframes walking around, if that's the idea, I would like that. Yes. Mini games. Well, considering that we have that mini game thing in our orbiter already, that gives us like Flappy Zephyr. Or Happy Zephyr, I guess. I don't know. And that kind of shit. I mean, that's I don't really care. Avatar still doesn't have any news. Are we talking about Big Blue Guy's avatar, or are we talking about the guy in the iceberg avatar? Adding ship functions. I mean, ship functions are always nice. I think one thing that could be interesting is if our Railjack becomes a social hub as well. That could be really cool. But I think NPC events might be the way to go. What is something that Warframe should explain or introduce better? I don't know about this one, chat. What do you guys think? Because, you know, me being, like, such a veteran, I pretty much understand almost everything in the game to a level where I don't need the game itself to explain it to me any further. What do you guys reckon? The Big Blue avatar. Oh, okay, cool. The movie or the games? Oh no, yeah, there was of course an announcement of a game. That's about the closest thing I've heard to news about Avatar. What do you guys reckon, chat? Is there anything... Oh, you guys answer, because I'm not going to answer this question. I'm a veteran and I feel like I already understand everything enough that the game doesn't necessarily need to explain it to me. Like, instead I would refer to the wiki for like much more detailed, granular shit, like this mod does this, and this, and here's how it synergizes with this, and this. You know, like I'm at that point, so I don't really know how to, you know, answer that. Do you feel like primary, secondary, and melee weapons are on the same power level? This is going to be a controversial statement. I thought they were already on the same power level to some extent, like, before. like before the primary secondary rework and the arcanes, I already thought that like primary secondary weapons were on the same power level with melee weapons, with of course the exception of like 25-hour survival missions, which I don't give a shit about, so obviously that doesn't even factor into my calculus at all. Are they on the same power level now? Yeah. I don't see how they're not. My Paris Prime, like, dominates, like, all day. So I have no issue with that. My melee weapons are still doing pretty well. So, actually, if anything, melee weapons might be a little bit weaker. Maybe we'll put it on 5. Melee weapons are a little bit weak now. Maybe. Or maybe I'm just not building them to be as absolutely perfect as they can be. I don't know. But I think it's fine. I think they're pretty much on the same power level, folks. Galvanized mods changed all that? Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I can see why a lot of people thought that. How do you feel about Warframe's open worlds in general? Plains of Eidolon? Yeah, it's pretty good. Orb Valis? Yeah, it's pretty good. Especially for secondary? Oh, yeah, I guess so. Cambion Drift? Yeah, it's pretty good. They're not perfect. They're, you know, they could always use some new bounty types, I reckon. But, you know, and some new, like, mission types inside there. But, you know, outside from that, like, yeah, they're pretty good. Please rate these elements of Warframe's open worlds. Racing. Racing? With the possible exception of me doing, like, who's the fucking fastest videos, I don't know anything about racing. I don't know anything about the racing. You know what? I'm not even going to answer that. I don't know anything about the racing. I love racing. Is that racing other players? Because I honestly have never done it before. Some people, you might even call me racist. Mining is fine. Fishing is fine. Conservation is fine. Exploring? Yeah, it's fine. Bounties? I actually find bounties to be pretty fun. NPCs? I actually like all the NPCs. Oh, hoverboard races. Ah! Hoverboard races. Right. That only exists in Orb Valis, right? There's no hoverboard racing in, There's no hoverboard racing in Cambion Drift. There's no hoverboard because there's no vent kids in Demos. There's no vent kids in Cetus. I don't mind Deimos. There's hoverboard racing in Deimos. You can. I don't know. Either way, this is a controversial statement. I actually quite like hoverboard racing. When I actually did it for the purpose of actually doing it, to like get points and go up in the vent kids standing. Yeah, I actually really enjoyed hoverboard racing. You know, I actually really enjoyed that. So yeah. Yeah, I really enjoyed that, not gonna lie. Would you like raids and trials to come back? Yes. Easiest answer in my life. Yeah, of course. Absolutely. And another controversial statement that people are probably not gonna people are not going to agree with me with. You ready, folks? The final stage of Jorda's verdict. Jorda's verdict? Yes, the final stage of Jorda's verdict. Perfectly fine. The fact that there was like 27 steps to it, and some people are complaining there were 27 steps to it. Don't mind me. Teach me the fucking steps, I'll go through it. Hell yeah. Jorda's Precept? What's it called? Jorda's Precept? What's it called? JV Raid? Not JP Raid. You got LOR and JV. Like, when everybody talked about raids, you got Law of Retribution, LOR, but then you also have JV, not JP. No? The Jorda's Verdict was the second trial mission available in Warframe. It's the Jorda's Verdict, my dude, not Jorda's Precept. I think Jorda's Precept was the fucking quest, mate, not the raid. What level should raids and trials start? Easiest answer, easiest question in my life. Steel Path. Steel Path. Fuck everyone else who bitches and moans about it being Steel Path. Steel Path. Fucking Steel Path that shit. Yeah, Steel Path that shit. Absolutely, are you kidding? If you can't play Steel Path, fuck off. No, I'm kidding. Listen, raids should be like the ultimate end game. It's the ultimate end game of it's the ultimate end game in Destiny. It's like the ultimate end game in like World of Warcraft. It's the ultimate end game in every single MMO. Fucking Steel Path that shit. Number 1. Level cap, I'm with you 100%. Level if DE were to start a quest at level cap or near level cap, oh fuck yeah, let's go. When should a raid fail? When the timer runs out, when players have trouble staying alive, when players' weapon damage is too low, when objective is taking lethal damage, or there should be no fail state. Can I pick multiple things? Oh yes, I can. Okay, these three. The timer. I don't think timer is the right idea. Honestly, because that. I don't know. Like maybe I'm just too salty about spiral depression, but timer doesn't sound like the right idea. If everyone dies, fail. If your weapon damage is just simply not high enough, and that's also and that's also taking into account Warframe's buffing you in various ways. Fail. If your objective is taking lethal damage, fail. I think that makes perfect sense to me. Public on Nintendo is dead. Rip. Have you played the new War? Yes. Yes, I have. Hold on. My throat is getting hoarse. Okay. Did you enjoy playing as characters from the other factions? Yeah. Which gameplay segment did you enjoy the most? I'm curious about what the results of this are. I am curious about what the results of this particular question are. I honestly did not like Teshin's as much as the others. Teshin's is probably my least favorite, which is not to say that it was bad. It's just that of the three, I didn't like Teshin's as much. And the main thing is because Teshin felt like a Warframe, but he was missing the parkour of a Warframe, which kind of really fucked with me psychologically. Like the idea that he has dual swords and he uses the same stance mods as stance combos as a Warframe with dual swords. So that's already making me think, oh, he's a Warframe. So then when I try to bullet jump, the motherfucker can't bullet jump. And that fucks with me psychologically. So not Teshin. Carl was cool, but I actually think that Veso was the most interesting of them all. I think the idea that Veso is a dude who by himself is almost completely fucking useless, but he's able to summon dudes and then you have to very tactically figure out like how to use those dudes in order to continue with your mission. That's cool. I like that. Yeah, I like Veso because it was much more of a puzzle. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. The idea that in order to bypass the electric field, you had to realize that you needed to use the shield dude to shield your one of your mowers, the bomb dude, to then go over the electric field, because the shield not mower, because the fucking shield osprey would overshield the mower, which then prevents it from getting electrocuted. I mean, like, that's cool. Like, I didn't realize that. And then when I realized that, I was like, oh shit, okay, cool. Now we know how this works. Awesome. We figured it out. Carl gameplay is just what if Warframe didn't implement bullet jumping? True, but Carl like didn't give me the impression that he was going to be a Warframe. You know, Carl started off clunky because he's a fucking Grineer, so it didn't fuck with me psychologically. Teshin, on the other hand, he messed with me psychologically, and that just kind of, it brought my opinion of the Teshin gameplay down. What kind of new Warframe would you like to see released? We already have a lot of support Warframes. We already have a lot of tank war. Fuck. How do I answer this question? All rounders? We have a lot of everything. We have a lot of everything, including DPSs. CC. Everyone has CC. Not necessarily. Not everyone has DPS. Some of us are tanks. Some of us are supports. Definitely not CC. All rounders. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm gonna leave this question. I honestly don't know. I don't know. I don't know. How do you answer this question when you have 40-something Warframes already? How the fuck? I don't know. I don't know. Fuck it, all-rounder. Yeah, I'm gonna go all-rounder then. Fuck it. I don't know. Which Warframe without a deluxe skin would you like to see receive one? Oh, this is the easiest question. Wisp. Give me Wisp Deluxe. Fucking give me Wisp Deluxe. It's the easiest question ever. It'll be great to see all of them, obviously. But, fucking give me Wisp Deluxe, please. Please. Like, of all of these Warframes, I use Wisp, like, 50% of the time compared to the rest. Like, I use Wisp about as much as every single one of these listed Warframes combined, if not more. So, you know, Wisp Deluxe. That's like the most value for money I could get. What new customization would you like to see most? Cyandanas, armor sets, weapon skins, companion armor sets, landing craft skins, necromech skins. We have so many Cyandanas, but we have a handful of necromech skins. And honestly, I feel like D could really branch out with necromech skins. I would like to see Tenogen necromech skins. Because surely someone somewhere is really itching to make a fucking Gundam skin. Surely. So, you know, fuck it. Make it happen. Make it happen, D. Let's get Tenogen necromech skins going. Because I know, I'm almost certain that some Tenogen artist out there is desperate to implement Gundam skins into the game. We have necromancers, we have pirates, we have fairies, and we have vampires. Who's the vampire frame? Garuda. Right? Is it time for a werewolf warframe? What the fuck kind of question is this? Yeah, sure. While we're at it, spider frame. When the fuck are we gonna get spider frame? When the fuck are we gonna get a warframe that doesn't just have 2 arms and 2 legs? When the fuck are we gonna get a warframe that has 2 arms, preferably a nice set of tits, I don't know, and a big ass and 8 legs? When the hell are we going to get... When the hell are we going to get Rhaenyra as a warframe? Chat, when the fuck are we going to get this chick as a warframe? When are we going to get her as a warframe, chat? That is my question. I'm completely indifferent about Greymane warframe. I want to see Rhaenyra warframe. That's what I want to see. Okay? I want a Necro Beast type skin, cough cough Hulk. Hell yeah, dude. Alchemist is gonna say he'll pass. Hey man, you're missing out. I want her. I want her as a warframe, DE. Let's go. Let's fucking go. So yeah. Is it time for a werewolf? Sure. But I'll tell you what it's high time for. Fucking Spider-Girl warframe. Let's go. Finish this sentence. In 2022, I want the devs to focus more on Well, Railjack, honestly. Railjack. That's actually going to be my answer. Because like I said, Railjack, Corpus Railjack, it's not Railjack. Everything else in every system in the game, I like. I have arachnophobia, but I want her to kill me. Slowly. Sensually. Is that how you want to go? Anyway. Yeah. Like I said, Corpus Railjack, it's not Railjack. So if D could focus on like implementing more, D can focus on, you know, Railjack, I mean, that'd be great. Will they? Probably not. With the possible exception of further integrating Railjack systems into the rest of the game, cool, awesome, you know? But till then, like, I everything else I think is fine. And so, if they could focus on Railjack, that would be the way to go. Besides Warframe, what else are you playing? Well, we're only allowed to provide one game. Genshin Impact. So, yeah, that's obviously the game that I'm also playing on a near constant basis compared to Warframe. Anything else you'd like to get off your chest? Sure. Here we go. As a mag main, it pains me to see the current state of the defensive magnetize. It doesn't really work outside of level 20 gameplay. For example, in the newer Corpus ship update, most of the most of the crewmen use weapons that have a tiny bit of AoE. This is a problem when the defensive magnetize does not defend you against any AoE, which means the Corpus crewmen in the new ship tile set will actively kill you in caps, will actively kill you while you are quote unquote defending yourself. Furthermore, the eventual blast that comes from defensive magnetize does so little damage that one may consider the trailer for the cinematic trailer for the start of the game to be sort of maybe kinda I don't know, false advertising. This is probably something that you should have a look at. This is probably something that should be buffed in such a way that it can still function properly in later game content. Who the fuck is sending me messages on Facebook? Oh, okay, cool. Hold on. Of Okay. Okay, as I was saying, Ragnarok can kill me slow sensually. Hell yeah, dude. Okay, so on top of that, meanwhile, sticking with Mag, the Nataruk has an unfortunate, what's the word I'm looking for? Interaction with the regular magnetized bubble. In that the shot doesn't really, the shot in which the arrows get reflected up from the magnetized bubble. I feel like this is a bug because this is a similar interaction with the Kuva Brahma that has been fixed. So if that could be sorted out, that would be great. Aside from that, general railjack shenanigans, Corpus railjack again. Corpus railjack again isn't railjack soz. It's simply like ordering a meat lover's pizza that shows up with crust, cheese, and a whopping 1 piece of beef on it. Done. I don't think it's a bug. I think it's on purpose because it will be too good on Mag. You may be right. I don't know. You may be right. But let's look at it from another way. This interaction used to be a thing with the Kuva Brahma as well. But then that got fixed. And now the Kuva Brahma works exactly as Orbos do with the mag bubble. The Kuva Brahma is a very powerful weapon. Use it with the mag bubble, it is very, very powerful. Especially if you go a gas pill for some reason. Surely, that would be the same with the Nadaruk. Crap on mag bubble though? Is it though? Seems to work pretty well in my experience. It seems to work pretty well in my experience anyway. Anyway. There's simply not enough railjack in Corpus railjack. Done! That's my survey done. Let me know what you think about all this in the comments below. Otherwise, hope you guys enjoy this. If you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe for more WarFrame content. Until next time, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching.